story begins at a time when a deadly virus has turned almost all of humanity into zombies, and those zombies have taken over the entire world. We're then introduced to a man named Tony. Tony is searching for just one specific zombie, the one that killed his wife right in front of his eyes. Tony stops at a gas station and starts checking the place, hoping to find that zombie. Suddenly, he spots one hiding inside a refrigerator. He locks it in and then drags the fridge behind his car out into the sunlight. After that, Tony fires at the fridge, breaking the door open. As soon as the zombie comes out, it starts screaming in agony as the intense sunlight burns its body. That's when we learn that these zombies are just like vampires. They're active at night and die in sunlight. Tony then drives toward the city and falls asleep inside his car. In his dream, he sees his wife and promises her that he won't rest until he gets revenge. When he wakes up, he starts searching for more zombies. The entire city is deserted and silent. After a while, he notices a building and goes inside to look for supplies. He moves forward very carefully, making sure no zombie suddenly attacks him. Suddenly, a zombie appears in front of him, and Tony fires at it, but it was already dead. However, the gunshot attracts other zombies, and they start coming at him from all directions. Somehow, Tony manages to kill them all. Luckily, there aren't many zombies around because it's daytime, making the area relatively safe. He then goes up to the rooftop of the building to rest. While he's there, he hears the sound of a car nearby. Curious, he goes to check it out. He sees a seemingly crazy woman sitting in the middle of the road, holding a baby. A car with 4 people stops near her, and one of them steps out to help, but suddenly, someone shoots him in the head. It turns out to be a trap set by a gang. A heavy gunfight breaks out between the gang and the people in the car. Tony watches everything and then grabs his weapons to step in. In the end, the gang kills 2 of them, and only one girl survives. Her name is Sam. Left with no choice, Sam surrenders to avoid being harmed. But the gang leader starts harassing her. Just then, Tony arrives and begins taking down the gang members one by one. Even alone, he overpowers them. He injures the leader and asks about the crazy woman. The leader reveals that her name is Annabelle. She's mentally unstable, and the baby she's holding is just a plastic doll. Her real child had died, and the trauma drove her insane. He also admits that they used her as bait for their trap. Tony leaves the leader to die and walks away from there. Sam talks to Annabelle and tells her that if she stays here, the zombies will kill her at night. She urges her to come along. Annabelle agrees, and the 2 of them go to Tony. Sam asks him to drop them off at the place where she lives with her group. In return, Tony asks for something. Sam says she'll give him supplies and ammo, and if he wants, he can even stay with them. Hearing this, Tony agrees, and the 3 of them start heading toward that place. On the way, Sam explains that they live in a jail right in the middle of the city. Tony realizes it's far, and if it gets dark, reaching there will be difficult because zombies spread everywhere at night. By the time they reach the city, it's already dark, and zombies start emerging from all sides. Sam contacts one of her group members, Ethan, who monitors the CCTV screens. She tells him to open the gate immediately, or the zombies will kill them. Ethan quickly alerts everyone and informs the group's leader, Frank, who is also his father. Everyone grabs their weapons and gets ready at the gate. As Tony reaches the gate, he tells Sam and Annabelle to get down and starts firing to cover them, but a huge number of zombies are closing in on him. At that moment, Sam's team arrives and joins Tony in fighting off the zombies. However, instead of decreasing, the number of zombies keeps increasing. When the situation starts getting out of control, they're forced to retreat inside the prison and begin closing the gate. But before the gate shuts, Tony notices a special zombie, the leader of all the zombies. He realizes this is the very zombie he has been searching for. Once inside, everyone gathers around and asks Sam where the others are. She explains that they were attacked by a gang, and everyone else was killed. She says if Tony hadn't shown up in time, she wouldn't have survived either. But there's a man named Dongi who doesn't trust Tony at all. He accuses Tony of being part of that same gang and claims that he came here with Sam to loot their supplies. He insists that he knows that gang well and Tony can't be trusted. Hearing this, everyone starts believing the story and turns against Tony. Just then, Sam steps in and says none of that really matters right now. She reveals that she's found a plane that's still in working condition. That's when we learn that Sam and the guys who died were actually out searching for that plane. They all want to escape from here and head to the northern colony, a place where only humans live, and where life is much safer and better. Later, Sam takes the group's leader, Frank, along with a few others, into the map room and shows them the plane's location. There's also a pilot with them named Vince. They decide that at first light, they'll drive out and reach the plane. Before going to sleep, Frank tells Tony that he doesn't trust him. He says Tony either has to hand over his weapons or go sleep somewhere else. This really upsets Tony, and he refuses to give them up. But Sam steps in and convinces him, saying it's just for one night, and he'll get his weapons back tomorrow. Somehow, Tony agrees and hands them over. Ethan walks Tony to a cell where he'll spend the night. On the way, Ethan tells him that his dad isn't actually a bad person. He's just terrified because of the zombies. He also reveals that his other brother turned into a zombie, and since then, his father hasn't been the same. Tony says he understands and doesn't have a problem with it. Then Tony mentions that he saw a very powerful zombie outside, one that all the others were gathered around and obeyed. Surprised, Ethan asks if he saw the alpha zombie. He explains that it's incredibly intelligent and dangerous, unlike anything he's ever seen. Tony says he's seen it before, which confuses Ethan. He can't understand how such a zombie can control all the others and make them follow its commands. When Ethan asks where he saw the alpha, Tony brushes the question off. Tony goes into the cell and falls asleep. But as always, he dreams about his wife. This time, the dream slowly turns into a nightmare. His wife transforms into a zombie and is about to attack him. He wakes up in a panic and sees Sam sitting outside the cell, waiting for him. Sam apologizes for locking him up, but says it was necessary for his safety. The two sit and talk. Sam mentions her fiancé, who was Ethan's brother, and he also turned into a zombie because of the virus. She says their life was beautiful before the outbreak, and they were about to get married, but everything changed in a single day. She still believes that maybe life can get better again if they reach the northern colony. Tony tells her that no place in the world is truly safe from zombies anymore. Sam warns him to stay away from the alpha, because it has already killed many of their people. Tony says in a sorrowful voice that Alpha has taken the most precious thing from him, his wife. He's been waiting for a year for the day he can finally face the alpha zombie. A little later, a guard hears a loud noise coming from outside and goes to check it out. But suddenly, zombies attack him, injure him, and knock him down before spreading everywhere. Tony grabs the keys from the guard and unlocks his cell. Meanwhile, everyone gathers the children and women and hides in a large cell to stay safe from the zombies. But a powerful zombie tries to break in. Just as it's about to get inside, Tony shows up and takes it down, saving everyone there. After all the zombies that tried to get in are killed, the group comes together to check who's been infected. One soldier has been bitten. Crying, he says he wants to live, even if they have to cut off his arm, but it's already too late, and the virus has spread through his body. With tears in their eyes, everyone says goodbye, and Frank is forced to shoot him in the head. When the sun rises, the leader and his team try to open the garage door, but it won't even budge, like it's been locked from the outside. When they go out through the main gate, they're shocked to see that the path to the garage has been blocked with old cars. Realizing this is Alpha and his army's doing, they regroup inside the building to come up with a new plan. The leader tells them the only way to survive now is to find other vehicles in the city. But Tony asks where Alpha and his army hide during the day. The leader explains that they've taken over the Pika Hotel for a long time now, but warns Tony to stay away from Alpha. Tony refuses, saying they can't keep running from the zombies forever. He's going to Alpha, into his territory, and he's going to kill him. Ethan, the leader's son, likes Tony's plan and decides to join him. A few others also step forward as Alpha has taken things from them too, and they want revenge. Tony, Ethan, and a small group head toward the hotel. Frank decides to stay on the rooftop to provide cover, while Sam leaves with her team to search for vehicles. When they reach the hotel, Tony and his team quietly sneak inside so they don't alert the zombies. They check every floor and every room, eventually reaching a large hall downstairs, and what they see leaves them stunned. An entire army of zombies, all lying there asleep. John comes up with a plan. He'll carry a bomb and move to the other side of the zombies so they have no way to escape. It's an extremely risky move, but he gathers his courage and starts making his way through to the other side. Breaking into Alpha's territory isn't easy. Suddenly, Alpha attacks John and bites him. In an instant, all the zombies rise up, as if they've come back to life on command. Because of the chaos, Tony and his team get scattered in different directions. Inside the hotel, a full-blown massacre begins. A man named Chris gets separated from the group and ends up trapped in a dark area. Dozens of zombies attack him, but even alone, he manages to take many of them down. Still, he gets infected, and the virus starts spreading rapidly through his body. As more zombies close in, Chris pulls the pin on a grenade and blows himself up, taking a swarm of zombies down with him. Meanwhile, Tony tells Ethan they need to reach the rooftop to take advantage of the sunlight. On every floor, they run into countless zombies, fighting their way forward and killing many along the way. Somehow, they finally make it to the rooftop. Up there, Tony spots Alpha. He's actually controlling the zombies, sending them in different directions like a commander leading his army. Panicking, Ethan asks, "Where's the rope?" Tony tells him Max had it. He tries to contact Max over the radio, but the response is terrifying. Max has already been attacked by zombies. Somehow, Max manages to share his location and urges them to hurry before it's too late. Tony makes a plan. He'll distract the zombies while Ethan goes down to retrieve the rope. Risking his life, Ethan heads down, reaches Max, and grabs the rope. But suddenly, Max, now turned into a zombie, attacks him. He's just about to bite Ethan, when at the very last second, Tony arrives and saves him. As they try to head back up, the zombies attack again. But somehow, against all odds, the two of them manage to make it back to the rooftop. Tony tells Ethan, "You go down the rope first." But then Ethan notices the bite mark on his hand, the one the zombie gave him. Seeing this, he says, "I'm not going anywhere now," as he slowly starts turning into a zombie. Tony realizes there's no time left. Without saying a word, he pulls out his weapon and shoots Ethan. The mission has already failed. Alpha is still alive, and darkness is quickly taking over. Tony throws down the rope and climbs out of the hotel. But the moment his feet hit the ground, zombies start chasing him like they've spotted their prey. Meanwhile, Sam finds a vehicle and makes it back to the prison. But not everyone can fit in that one car. After a while, Dongji brings another vehicle, but the problem still isn't solved. He tries to convince Pilot Vince, saying, "Let's split from them. We'll drive to the plane and escape from there. We need to save ourselves." But Vince refuses outright. Then another man arrives with a bus. Everyone gets excited, thinking they'll all survive. Just then, Tony comes running toward them with a swarm of zombies right behind him. They immediately start firing at the zombies. The reason the zombies are out during the day is because the sky is covered with clouds, making the sunlight weak. Tony and the others rush inside the prison, but the zombies break in as well. Tony tries to cover everyone, and somehow they manage to shut the door behind them. At that moment, Frank shows up, furious at Tony because many people have died because of him, including Frank's own son. Dongji somehow survives outside. Acting selfishly, he tries to escape in his vehicle. But soon, zombies surround him. Realizing there's no way out, he chooses to end his own life before they can get to him. Inside the prison, the battle reaches its peak. Zombies flood in from every direction. They're running low on bullets, but everyone is fighting with everything they've got. Still, the zombies are too many, slowly overwhelming them. Frank is attacked by multiple zombies and is ultimately killed by the Alpha zombie. In the chaos, Tony finally comes face to face with Alpha. But he's not alone. His entire zombie army is with him. With a single command, the zombies attack Tony. But Tony fights back fiercely, taking them down one by one. Then comes the final showdown, Tony versus Alpha. But Alpha is incredibly powerful. Tony realizes he can't defeat him directly, so he heads straight to the rooftop. Alpha follows close behind, and just as he lunges at Tony, Tony pushes him into the sunlight. The sun's rays start burning the Alpha zombie. His body begins to heat up like his blood is boiling. He screams, writhes in pain, and slowly burns to ashes. Tony watches silently. After waiting an entire year, Alpha is finally dead, and Tony has avenged his wife. When Tony looks toward the bus, he sees that everyone is safe. With Alpha gone, half the zombies run away, and the rest burn to death in the sunlight. Sam walks up to Tony and says, "You've taken your revenge. Now come with us." Tony replies, "When you first met me, I was alone. And maybe this journey is something I have to finish alone." He says goodbye to everyone and walks away by himself, on a mission to wipe out zombies from the entire world. A mission that might be impossible. And the movie ends on this powerful note. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.